over on the other side. They got high ground for now, but this is where the zones are going to begin to move. And you can see a lot of those teams on the south side. They don't got much moving to do, but for Nounsy, he has to go ahead and fly across all that madness that is the low ground.
Yeah, Snake and Mega, they are down below. They're buried beneath so many teams right now. And Rise and Yomzo might punish them for this. You saw them knocking at that door. But they are just going to create a bit of space, move out of the way. Rise patiently waiting for Clicks to peek out. Fortunately, Clicks ramped over and so will not take any damage there. But you see, these guys are just looking back at all those teams that aren't quite in the zone. Jack and Quart, here just playing around that shield bubble and going to look to use their blades to move all the way around that left side. Up and around all those different teams into safety on the front side of the zone.
I was talking about chats getting loud for Booga. I can just imagine the chat just erupting for Clicks, but everything comes crashing down. Luckily for the kinetic blades, Nounsy and ZZ are going to be able to survive, live to fight another day as they continue to try to maintain some sense of that high ground, quickly using their kinetic blades to try to take it back. Nobody really contesting up for now, but a lot of materials being expended to make that a possibility. Just like here, Yamto on the defensive end, trying to stabilize him in Rise's position. That way they can use their shields, use their heals to get back up to shape. The fight for the high ground begins. Threats takes a huge tag. Booga is trying to do everything he can to fight for it, but with that amount of damage on the Threats, he has no choice but to disengage.
Yeah, that was really tough for them. They took a large chunk, but fortunate to both be alive still in this one. And I'm sure they may look to take it again yet. Yomzo and Rise down on low ground, but struggling in the backside. They have to move out of the way.
Great fight right now from Jock. Great shots. Him and Quad playing great into the same box. Sometimes it's hard with only one cover, two players, both of them trying to edit. They've been playing together for so long. Chemistry is just out of this world. But a team that is playing like they've been together for so long. Clicks and Dukes outlasting everybody. I said Dukes, but it's actually Scented Soup Come Home. Excuse me there. And they're doing so well together. IGL. And that's going to allow Clicks to focus more on being a fragger.
Yeah, they've been playing a lot better of late. And maybe we're starting to see the results manifest out of it. Clicks connecting onto Yomzo there. And I believe that was Rise as well. No, it was Mega that falls as well. Big shots, big damage being dealt by Clicks, and it allows him and Soup to just keep moving forward as the tarps come through. Everything now, look at Peterbot here with Quanti. They're still up in this one, and they take down Acorn. That's the reigning champ that they're picking up. And again, just gonna look to come top round, claim this layer. Rise is the one on it. They have to push him off, force him down. And unfortunately, he doesn't have any mats. So that's going to be his end, you'd love to think. But he's still managing to stay alive here.
Ariel is playing a huge role in him not getting stuck on that low ground. Quickly use the kinetic blade charges as soon as they come up. Bacon, we saw him last as a solo, found a way to get Batman Booga back into the game and get 8 eliminations as a duo. Mythic Habit pump in hand, turns, tries to take out one, but he falls, leaving it all up to Batman Booga. He says, I got the reboot on you, don't let me down.
Staying alive and just barely one tick away from going down in the storm, and needs to be careful dancing, turning around. He lost the piece, but he still stays alive. Has the right hand peek, but gets taken out from behind. It's ZZ that picks up Clicks as well. Moving back into the safe zone, has to quickly run in, scurry in and build above. And just makes their way in. Peterbot and Quanti, I believe, has started to heal off. And so Peterbot's job right now is to make sure these two have no chance of paying for a heal off. And it looks like Peterbot's doing just that. Picks up one, looking now to try and close it out, and couldn't do it against Nounsy. Nounsy wins the fight, gets the trade. But Nounsy doesn't really have heal off. But the Quanti's run out as well. It's just about who hits the shot. Who's it going to be? Quanti 1 HP and barely survives. Hits the last shot. And it's Peterbot and Quanti that pick up the first game here in NA.
Heals to work with, but a game number 1 winners with the highest position on the map, poised to possibly take the next game if they play their cards right.
Look, this is one of the easiest games they'll play all season long. They've not had to move all game. They landed at South Slappy Shores, and here we are, 20 minutes in at Slappy Shores. Their POI, their home turf, their home zone, and a chance to do back-to-back. They won the first game ever in this new North America region, and they're going to look to try continued at 100% success rate. Clicks and Soup down below and Surge. So they desperately need to find something. They can sort of sit here and out heal for the meantime.
3 slices being shared and kind of shows that they're down on their luck, down on their heels as well, which is honestly surprising. They have 6 eliminations up until this point, with the NA region all over being active. Clicks and Soup even down when it comes to the Storm Surge. Almost makes you wonder what is really going on. Everybody really trying to play for placement the best that they can, playing a little bit too safe. But Soup at the right moment, able to get a knock onto one, but Clicks taking so much damage from an angle, has to separate between him and Soup before trying to try this one again. Tries to reunite, gets box to box as threats. Last time we seen him, 4 different legendary slurp juices, but down to 1 and 2 minis. But luckily for him, he still has that mythic Havoc pump and can take somebody out in 1 shot.
Rex is surviving. And in the meantime, he's gonna have to survive here in that wood. That's practically all he has left. Acorn, in a very similar situation, but working with a lot less in the tank. Just 7 builds remaining, down here on low. Desperately hoping somebody will walk into his sight. You can hear that team close by. Can't necessarily make the play he wants to. And these guys just gonna pulse rifle into boxes. They want to pulse rifle into somebody's face. They're claiming space down below on low. Clicks, not up above. Here in the mid-ground layers, and there's players on their layer. And they might just have to deal with soon. Frets now begins to start to run low on materials and has to take a fight, has to get aggressive and try and make a play, try and make something.
Anything at this point. Pops game time at the perfect time. Might be too early now. 12 zone hasn't begun to move yet as Yamzo and Rise trying to terrorize everybody. Depending on how much damage they have taken to Storm up until this point, they've given themselves 2 different win conditions. Take over the game, go for heal off. Batman, Booga, and Bacon have stabilized their position down on Surge moments ago, forced to use their men miss. But for them, for how long they spent in the zone very, very early on in this game, they have to go ahead and frag out.
And if they want to frag out, they have to drop to low. And if they drop to low, they're going to be in the faces of the Yomzu and Rise. And we know how those guys are feeling. Forced back up. Bacon was waiting. And Bacon is hitting big shots. Polarized gets taken out. And the Kinetic Blade will move on up and back into the zone. But unfortunately, that will be his demise. Trashy and Pump will begin to fall now as well. It's Trashy who's left Pump in a tree. Takes down Cease. And he's still going. Those mats will keep him in the game. He can drop down out of that tree in a bit into safety.
Acorn surviving still as a solo, no heals, 19 HP, trying to follow the zone to the last possible moment, at the very minimum, gets himself into the top 4 before going down. Top 3 we go, Rise and Yamzo, game time, splashes, but Quanti has the high ground. Peterbot's there as well, but he's gonna go down. He at least took down Rise, bringing this down to a 1v1 situation, but Quanti, he ran out of heals. He's forced to drop down low. Yamzo having a little pizza party down low towards the low ground, and he celebrates by taking the game.
Yomzo just had way too much in the tank for commandment down below. But now gonna have to focus on zone. You can see Hamsu scouting. There is a team right above them, and so that's Clicks. Can't go out that way. They're gonna have to top out a bit just to create that bit of space, that bit of distance. Frets is gonna get the revive onto Booga here. Ooh, was worried about this team coming through. And so unfortunately has to put an end to it, and they'll just put an end to him. It's M-Pen who walks into that box.
TK gets the credit for the other one, but the damage is done. Emerald Road King does go down. Cooper's gonna be left by himself. 3 splashes, try to use the ODM gear, but gets tagged up, falls to the low ground, but catches himself at the last possible moment. Legendary Slurp Juice gonna be used, but when we look at the high ground, that's Poyo, that's Keyboard, and almost gives you a glimmer of what Booga saw in Poyo. He has to live up to that height, live up to that name.
It's all good being up on height at this stage, so you have to do something with it. We'll see if he can live up to that height. Unfortunately for Yomzo, Rise has fallen, and he's in the back of the zone with many, many eyes watching. That Kinetic Blade is gonna have to come through. Their charges are there to be used. And he'll use 2 just to get into a nice spot on the zone on the left side here. Not much congestion, so a bit of breathing room for Yomzo as a solo. M-Pen doing very similar, moving himself to almost that same side. Cease and Tragic, so they're not solos, they're playing together. And they need to land together, because if not, they might have players landing in their box.
They're just playing bumper blades right there in the sky. And Ritual is the one that's going to go down for it all. 4 eliminations so far. TK doing what he can to try to play hero, but realizing when enough is enough, he has to abandon Ritual, but he's not going too far off, just in case he's able to get it. But another team coming in from a whole nother angle, leaving TK with no choice but to disengage and play the rest of this one out by himself.
And look what he's found. He's found a bunch of chug splashes.
Wow.
He's going to sit there and heal off with. And even if it's not going to win him the game, it will win him some extra placement points, and that's all that matters. Clicks and Soup, though. Another game here where they're just on mid-ground, and they are vibing, looking for an opportunity for a refresh. And looking to try and maybe find some room ahead of the zone. Yeah, don't want to be in the middle back. Moving now towards the front.
Is anybody going to look up? They're one layer thin. As I say that they do, Poyo and Keyboard, though, they're going to be able to catch themselves with the Kinetic Blades. You can see Keyboard going deep into zone, making sure they maintain the high ground, which is going to be important as Clicks, Soup, still on the hunt. They know players are nearby, and they're closing in on that distance, but they're making sure they stay in that mid layer. If you drop ultimate low, there's going to be so many teams down there causing some chaos for your game.
These guys have played their match brilliantly up to this point, but they are starting to run low on mats. And so it's going to be a matter of hitting some shots, but Clicks isn't ready. And so that just leaves Soup with just the one build remaining. Scratch that, no builds remaining. He has to connect, and connect he will, but it's not enough for an elim. Now just patiently waiting, but the time is ticking. You can't keep sitting in zone. You have to run in, you have to connect. How's he not gone down? Yeah, what a shot! But before going down, Mpendo down beneath is alive and is using the chug splashes to stay in the zone here.
Yeah, he's doing all he can to try to get as many points. Tragic's doing the same thing, but him and Cease are still alive as a solo. 3 splashes left as well. Cease goes down. Shots coming in from Polo, but it's not enough. He gets taken down by somebody else still left in this game. This is a 3-player zone heal off here towards the end of this game. Npen popping a legendary Slurp Juice. Pizza is being eaten. Slap Juice is being drinking. 1v1 situation. Who has the heals as Npen uses his last? Thankfully, he has the Slurp Juice still ticking, but he goes down altogether. Acorn, FNCS Major 1 champion, takes the game.
Game after game, we're seeing the biggest and the best names in North America.
The name of game for Iamzo and Rise. Even using that last build to get the piece control is Polarized and Npen. They have more than just piece control. They have full control over the game up until this point. Night Zone, things are going to begin to move. With 1 elimination so far, my only question is how many heals does Npen actually have?
And the Iamzo and Rise, they went down. Ooh. Let's take a look at it. Heals. WTJ. He dropped down and Matbra pinching in from the backside. And so that duo, who we know needed a big refresh to stay in this game, couldn't quite do it.
Soup, though, still continuing their own journey. Ultimate low ground, Trashy and Pump. We saw them become victorious right out of the gates off spawn, and seeing how it's led them so far as Clicks and Soup, 46 above the damage threshold. Game time already being used. Pizza in his back pocket when push comes to shove. Same could be said about Acorn and Cold here, but they have 4 extra splashes added to their total, so they're going to have a little bit more room to work with as they quickly connect Blade to the front side of zone, sacrificing just a little bit of HP to build himself some more safety on the other side.
Rokin and Vert looking for a potential drop down. And they see that play on this layer. That's Mars who's running away.
Wow, everything just came crashing down for that short moment. Polarized and Npen, though, with those kinetic blades, they're going to be able to catch themselves and continue to maintain their position on that high ground. Npen, though, he doesn't have any heals. Unless he passed them on over when we didn't really see, it's going to be hard for them to win a heal off if it does come down to it, but no game has really came down that far. ZZ still a solo, no heals, but plenty of builds with that kinetic blade. He's going to easily make it from point A to point B. He just has to make sure to not get tagged out of the sky.
Cold and Acorn moving through. Clicks. Does have a pizza to pop, and maybe should look to pop it with his HP. He is 1 half decent shotgun shot away from being taken out, and yeah, we'll just pop it to get everything he needs. Trashy and Pump. They're still in this game, and they still do have heal potential. If they have that augment waiting for them, if they have access to a pizza, they'll have enough to heal off. The heal offs haven't lasted that long, and so with what they have, certainly will be more than enough. M-Pen polarized way above and easily choppable, but nobody's looking up at it. Nobody's even interested. What Cold and Acorn are interested in is all these players here on their layer that they can take out. ZZ, 12 HP and a dream.
Like every time we jump on board, he just has less and less HP and shield. Trying to drop down low. Trashy and Pump under siege. So many players all around, just one layer below. Jeff and Rapid on the other side. They quickly try to get on out, but they're getting distracted for now. You lose sight of that focus. It could be your demise as Soup lost sight. He goes down, all left up to Clicks, but he's one of the best solo players we got in the game. And he catches Zuki slipping. Gonna say fast for a moment, but he's gone long ago.
Zuki didn't see it coming. Tix was waiting there, and he punishes, but can he get back into the zone? By the skin of his teeth, just a couple ticks of HP away from being taken out. Acorn has to drop his pizza now and even look to just play it, and another big shot from Clicks. But sadly not enough to stay in the game. Who knows what could have been? Trashy and Pump still alive as a duo. And these chug splashes will keep them ticking around. Here in the back side of the zone for a bit longer. Acorn continuing to heal off and Polarized now being sent down to disrupt the troops. M-Pen does have the slurps, but not really any chug splashes. If he has pizzas, maybe that could work out for him. Acorn now avoiding as many ticks as possible because his heal off potential has run out and his time in the game has also polarized. Needs to connect, but won't. Players falling at the wayside, and it's Emerald Road King who's alive in this one.
Gets it. Gets the siphon as well. Last of the splash is going to be used out of nowhere, though. M-Pen from the high ground tags him up when he least expects it.
I see you from way above and just dealt with him. Look at that.
Wow.
That's everybody's dream. Falling from the skies, falling from the heavens. And Acorn and Cold, M-Pen and Polarized. All to win this one. And as I say that, M-Pen gets taken out. And some of the bosses he has to deal with are falling at the wayside. The Umzo and Rice fell in the feed as well. All around the place, everybody going down.
Yeah, right before we tuned into them, Soup was able to get 2 eliminations, bringing his total to 3, making sure they stay well above the Storm Surge threshold. And just as you said, with M-Pen going down, that's going to leave a lot of pressure onto Polaroids here in this game. And he's just slowly but surely not trying to overstep his boundaries, get too greedy, make sure that has as mats as he could carry outside of that metal, which he lacks just a little bit, but more than enough mats to make it across the next couple of zones. As Acorn and Cold, 257 points, sitting high up on that leaderboard. This is around the point in the game they're going to need to go down for some of these other competitors to really catch up to them in terms of their pacing.
Oh man, backwards. The setups are looking good for them in terms of what they have available in their inventories. But they just have to deliver. Heaterbot scouting. Quanti leading the path. It looks like they're going to look to build up here. They want to play for height again like they did earlier in one of the other wins. And yeah, just ramping all the way on up. Heaterbot looking to reinforce it, but they're connected now. And that's Booga and Fretz they're connected to. Booga's decided to drop down. Fretz now following suit. And so yeah, Peterbot and Quanti have height.
That was great. Great job by Peterbot to try to hold on to that structure. That pulse rifle doing so much damage, tearing through the builds. As Clicks finds his first elimination of the game, bringing the duo's total to 4. You can see he has pizza already popped. Game time has already been given and passed around, so a couple slices of pizza in the inventory. Cold and Acorn trying to get to the front side of zone, holding on to their splashes is going to be the name of the game. Polaroids as a solo, the last of his charges is going to be expended, so he's just going to try to box himself up, wait for his charge to recharge before he connect blades to the front side of zone again.
Polarized using that slurp in the back of the zone though. Cold and Acorn, they're looking to frag, but they need to get to safety. And Booga using that blade, hiding right underneath that height team. And here on the snare, trying to apply pressure onto Polarized. Force him out, force him down. But there's already a team there that's dealing with him. And so Booga, if he doesn't want to be next, he might have to change layers.
Emerald Road King and Cooper doing a good job, though. Going to the backside of zone. They have a couple of slices of pizza to regain the HP as he goes forward, sideways, just trying to bypass dropping into anybody's box, but he goes nearby both Gold and Acorn. Cooper's there, though. He takes a big tag. Batman, Booga, and Bacon appear with 7 eliminations so far up until this point. He's just trying to go crazy, get towards the front side of zone. This is 11th going into 12th. This is where the heal off will typically begin, and a lot of these eliminations on the day for NA.
Booga still solo clutching. Still staying alive and still gathering these placement points. Clips and Soup. Another game where they're here on mid-ground, but they're running low on their bills. They need a refresh desperately. But that's what Clicks is all about. And so hopefully he can set up for something. Booga though, can he add more to his tally before bowing out of this game? Still has enough mats to top here on the front side. There is a team on this layer and he's well aware of it. Trying to apply pressure, but he hears things below him. He's hearing cues all over the place. He doesn't know which way to look. But now that he has focused his attention, he needs to connect and he will. A nice shot there for Booga. Unfortunately, he's actually not even going to get any sort of refresh from that. Barely making it into zone. A knock onto Clicks will be something that Commandment will put to an end. Soup down below. He now needs to try connect as a solo. There are players here who will pick up a pizza, but it's not enough for a full heal of Acorn and Cold. They're looking so strong. Acorn though has no more Cold and has no more life without him.
Where that hybrid heal off is going to begin. Some players trying to fight for it down to the very end. Others just going far back to the other side of the zone. Trashy is going to be the player trying to chase him down. Pump isn't there. He's gone already. Legendary Slurp Juice is all they have. He gets chunked out by the zone. Noxy now with little heals that he has. He's looking around, trying to scavenge for anything that he can find. Last of the Splash is going to be used as well. And Quanti, out of nowhere, after the last couple of games, going down off spawn, he could make it happen. 4 floppers left. Medmiss splashes, celebrating early, rightfully so. They rise from the depths to take the game.
They win game 1.
They begin to move. Most of the lobby is on that southern edge. Everybody else, northeast or center. Cold and Acorn, they don't have far to move before they get in the zone. Polaroid's neither. He also has the pizza from his game time augment. He will lack the ability to get 200 HP and shields. It's going to be needed to go up against team like Acorn and Cold. Has to be careful not to bite off more than he can chew in this situation. Timing has to be perfect here for Polaroids as a solo.
Gearbot and Quanti. Remember, the trend throughout all of the games today is that when they make it to endgame, they either win or get second place. So keep your eyes peeled for this duo, because when Peterbot is hitting shots like that, it's just not fair. That mythic shotgun in his hand is going to be a big, big problem for anybody on this layer. Anybody above him, anybody below him, anybody in this server right now has to worry about that man. Cooper doesn't have Emerald King. We know how much firepower Emerald King has in these endgame moments. It's what's made him a champion in the past. Rise and Yomzo. They've not been able to play as aggressively as they would have liked to today, but they've still found success. Even Skittles getting chopped out. And it is Yomzo and Rise who are doing it.
Typically why you see some of these teams that have the high ground, they just kind of stroll, they let all this action before it dies. A and Shore both get chunked out as well. Acorn and Cold trying to move through all the madness, reunite in the same box, building their confidence. Clicks and Soup trying to get into somebody else's box. They're down on math, they're down on resources, and down altogether. It's all up to Soup. He's immediately trying to run around. Tries to go for a cheeky shot, but he gets denied entry, quickly pops Van down, and gets out with the kinetic blade, giving himself a second chance, but all he has in terms of heals is 70 on the Medmiss, and a shot flying through the sky to try to end the run. It's not over just yet, but his opponent narrowly escapes what could be a disastrous takedown.
Soup's performances today has been the key to why they've been as successful as they have been. And so to close things out with a big, big solo clutch would just be in fashion, would just be in style. Rise has gone down. Yomzo has no intention of following suit until he picks up short. But unfortunately for him, the HP is not looking good whatsoever. Needs to start popping them pizzas. Quanti needs to start getting into zone because Peterbot has fallen.
If he can skate through, that's more than enough for Yamzo. The way these games have been playing out, it hasn't going full heal off just yet. 2 more legendary slurp juices are going to be picked up as soon as he eats the rest of that pizza. Polaroid's going to have to abandon the rest of the pie that he has left on the ground. Maybe even pick up a few slices before he ends up on the run. Quanti loses Peterbot. They have 3 eliminations. Last of his heals are going to be used, and they're not even in the top 10.
And you can see Aviv and Skittles are still holding on to height as best as they can. Chopped out again, but still looking to retain it. Cold and Acorn, they're still on the rampage, still on the hunt to get another top 4, it seems. Hold on to that first place slot. Nobody's going to be able to take it the longer they stay alive. Polarized has tried his best and has done well without M-Pen, but unfortunately stuck at the bottom of this hill. Does not have the HP to last. Yomzo still alive. He was managed to get up, and he was managed to get another elim. That's 2 now for Yomzo.
More than enough mats to keep himself shielded from the high ground, but Trashy's falling down, waiting for the zone to reach him. More than enough splashes, in a great position, ultimate low ground. 7 competitors left in this game, 4 teams. Acorn goes down. Cold is going to be left by himself. Zone is going to close. Everybody trying to heal off. Cold doesn't have any heals to his name. He gets tagged from above and taken down. Into the top 3 we go. Skittles gets taken down next. Yamzo is still doing it by himself, but the last splash is going to be used. Elite, Pump, Trashy, last team here, going up against Yamzo, and the last shot is going to be nailed. Pump and Trashy take the final game of the day.
You would have thought it would have came earlier. They tried their best. They'd hung in and around that top 5 for so long.
They ended the day right at where they began, at the top of the leaderboards. But as we kind of continue to look down, Trashy and Pump, even with that victory royale, everyone else was also doing well in that game, right? So they do solidify themselves in a top 5, but still an absolutely monumentous effort